It is one day before my birthday, and I've been having cake for 3 days in a row already, and I will be for the next few days, because it's my birthday week, and I want to. I've got this lovely tiramisu, and I'm gonna devour it. You know what? I'll just record again tomorrow, because I want to focus on this. I say we go for seconds. Hi warriors, and welcome back to another video. The day that I'm recording this is a Tuesday, December 3rd, my birthday. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'm having a week of eating cake. I'm loving it. And yeah, on my actual birthday I'm just doing uni work, which is pretty boring. But I decided to film a video for you all. It's a great little distraction for me, and it is a topic that has been very highly requested. Namely, how I gained 20 kilos during my recovery. I often get asked questions such as, did you even gain weight? Are you at the right weight? What BMI do you need to be recovered? How much weight do you need to gain to be recovered? And I aim to answer some of these questions in this video, and I'm going to talk specifically about my own story. So yes, I definitely did gain weight. No, there's not really any set amount that you need to gain in order to be recovered. And personally, I think BMI is a bit of a BS measure, because for example, if you are a top athlete, you do a lot of exercise, and your BMI is say 30, you are clearly not obese. It might just be a lot of muscle mass, and I don't know, there's just so many factors that go into it that I think BMI is not the best measure. But anyway, I'm not going to be talking about this for the entire video. I will be sharing with you my story and how I gained 20 kilos in my recovery. Let's get to it. So, if you have seen my anorexia story video, which I will link up there, you know that in around 2009 I started to feel a bit less certain about my body, about my eating. I tried to control my life by eating less. This was one of the few things that I could control, so I very severely restricted my intake and I started to lose some weight. Back at that point, I didn't really weigh myself much, but I do have a general idea of how much I weighed at the start and how much I weighed several months later. So yeah, I think during my eating disorder I probably lost not a massive amount, but as you may know, I was already underweight to start out with. I've always been quite a skinny, scrawny kid, so yeah, that wasn't the best thing to do, and it clearly messed with my head, and I started to struggle with a real eating disorder. I tried to restrict my intake, I started exercising loads, and you know, just the common eating disorder behaviors really had me trapped. It is in 2010, I think in February, that I was first hospitalized for my eating disorder, and I slowly started to put on little bits of weight, mainly because I wanted to leave hospital and then not necessarily stick to my plan, but just get back to school, get back to studying, and get my life back. So yeah, I gained a few kilos, left hospital, went back to school and stayed at that weight, because I knew that if I went below that weight I would be hospitalized again. But I also knew that I did not want to increase any more weight. So by this point I'd gained maybe 5 to 10 kilos back, so I was at my pre-eating disorder weight. But strangely enough, my mind was still very disordered, the eating disorder was still clearly present, and I was all but healthy. In fact, it's only about 5 years later, in 2015, that I decided I was sick of being ill. I wanted to gain weight, but at the same time I was torn. I wasn't able to, and I tried to eat more. I was already eating more than many of my friends, but I wasn't gaining the weight I had to gain. And it was frustrating, and I couldn't push myself beyond this invisible boundary. So I was hospitalized in Belgium, where I finally did put on some weight. After that hospitalization, I think I still gained a little bit of weight at home and at university now. I'm not exactly sure what my weight is now, but from the start of my recovery, it has been at least 20 kilograms. And I have never in my life felt happier and healthier and more satisfied with myself. If you have been following this channel for a while, you know that I'm also going to the gym now, something which I didn't do during my recovery, but which I am enjoying now. So for that, I'm trying to still put on a bit of weight to really push myself and make those gains. But yeah, generally I'm quite pleased with where I'm at, and I just wanted to share with you some of my tips on how I gained all of this weight during my recovery. One way is to just eat loads of tiramisu, obviously. The first most important thing that I did was to allow myself this break. What really kept me from embracing recovery at first was the fact that I had so many projects ongoing, that I didn't want to leave school, that I didn't want to put my life on halt. But really, I needed to do that. I needed to put my recovery first and to stop everything else. I needed to obviously stop exercise, but also going to school and just stressing myself out with all of these things that I had ongoing, and I needed to take a break and just allow myself to heal. Tell myself that I was allowed to heal. And this is crucial because once I allowed my body to heal, I was able to become more productive, to enjoy the things that I do more, and to, yeah, be generally more efficient and happy in the things that I do. So putting recovery first was, yeah, the main step for me, really. The second step was to listen to my body. My body told me that it needed this break, and I had ignored it for so long. My body also told me that I needed food. Initially, my cues were all out of whack, but after trying to follow a meal plan of sorts, it started to give me more hunger cues, and this was terrifying. And obviously, I told myself, well, you've been living on minimal food for a while. That sustains you, so stick with it. Really, that was the eating disorder talking, and I should have known that having lived on these minimal amounts, my body was starving. It needed a lot of food. And my second tip for gaining all this weight is to listen to these cues. Eat junk, eat ice cream, cookies, tiramisu, eat whatever your body craves, because if you listen to your cravings, they will change over time, and your body knows what it wants, so listen to it. If you don't listen to your cravings, they will stay. In addition to listening to my cravings, I also decided it was really important to listen to my body in spite of what other people were doing. So I really struggled with comparing myself to others, especially my mum or my twin sister, and even some of my friends. If they were eating less than me, alarm bells would go off in my head and I would freak out. And I now realize that that is completely irrational, because I had been starving my body, and it is only natural that now it needed to make up for this massive deficit. My body needed more food, and it was telling me this. What I learned to do was listen to this, in spite of what everyone else was saying or doing. By focusing on myself, I also became more comfortable loving myself and talking to myself more kindly. I stopped feeling as guilty or telling myself off for little mistakes or slip-ups. And really, it is crucial that you provide yourself with positive self-talk and maybe keep a gratefulness journal, write yourself positive notes, and talk to yourself as you would talk to a friend. You should be your own friend. And, at least try to tolerate your body until one day, maybe just tolerating will turn into loving yourself. So at this point, I was eating quite a lot of food, focusing on myself, and although I was gaining some weight, I wasn't feeling great. I think that talking more positively to myself definitely helped, but a lot of my focus was still on just eating loads and not enjoying food, but knowing that I needed food in order to reach a place that I would be happier and healthier. But yeah, the situation wasn't great. It was oftentimes really, really difficult. And what helped me in this regard is my 5th tip, namely associating more positive memories with food. Rather than seeing it as the enemy, but sort of as a friend that was going to lead me to where I wanted to be, I went out for meals. I made it a social event so that I not only stepped out of my comfort zone and faced my fears, but I also generally just gained a much better and healthier relationship with food, and I can now enjoy food for what it is and just find pleasure in the meals that I enjoy eating. That is a crucial yet often overlooked part of recovery, and it makes recovery so much better, because if you're just stuffing yourself with food, feeling anxious and awful the entire time, the process is just very challenging. And although that was the case for me initially, it was a gradual process to enjoying food again and allowing my body to heal. Tip number 6, throw out old clothes. I had a lot of old clothes that were too small for me, that I held on to for the longest time, thinking, well, if I go through another relapse or lose some more weight, or if I need these clothes at any point, I will keep them in my closet just in case. But I don't think that's the right mindset. You probably know why. And if you have any old clothes lying around, toss them. Do it today. My 7th tip is to celebrate the little steps forward. I mentioned previously that slip-ups can be difficult and that you might be beating yourself up over them, but there is no need. And what is especially important is to positively motivate yourself. So if you tackle a challenging snack, or even if you excel in another part of your life, such as a university achievement or anything else, then celebrate these achievements. Let go of perfectionism, because nothing in life is ever perfect, and trying to strive for perfection is only going to make your life so much more stressful. So celebrate the small steps. Tip number 8 is sort of related to my previous tip on tossing out old clothes, but it's also important to toss out other triggering things you might have around the home, the scale being one of them. This really helped with my mindset and helped me gain weight in a much healthier and less obsessive way. Also, you might want to consider unfollowing unhelpful social media accounts, for example on Instagram, because they're just going to put the focus on the wrong things. So go ahead, unfollow. Nevertheless, even if you do unfollow these channels, there are going to be triggers once in a while. For example, a family member telling you, you look so much better now that you've gained weight, or friends commenting on your body, or anything like this. And my tip number 9 is to deal with them in a healthy way. Try to see them in the way that they were meant. So if your friend tells you that you're looking good, take that as a compliment, as it was intended, and don't overthink it. Comments like these are bound to come up, and it's really important to stick with your goals regardless. Remember why you are recovering, and don't let anyone or anything get in your way. Tip number 10, remind yourself of your recovery motivations. So if triggers come up, if you are not feeling your best, if you're having a low body confidence day, just keep going. Remind yourself that you want to dance again, or you want to go to school again, you want to eat out without feeling guilty, you want to be happy, healthy, free. Remind yourself of all these things, write them down, and keep going. When I was feeling my worst, I would cry through a meal, but I would eat that meal. I put one foot after the other, and slowly, gradually, my weight increased, and with that, my mood state improved. My eating disorder thoughts decreased, and I became the old me again, and it was absolutely amazing. Today, yes, I'll be doing university work, but also I'll be celebrating my 23rd birthday, and I'll be looking back at the amazing progress that I've made since 2009 and celebrate where I'm at now compared to where I was then. No better date than today, I guess. Anyway, I guess I'll be off to eat some more tiramisu, to reflect, and to bury my nose in some more books. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I'm sending you all so much love. If you have any of your own tips or stories, leave them below. Be sure to like this video, to subscribe, and I will see you all very shortly. Have a lovely Christmas.